Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Rangers Rabble Phone In. I hope you all had a good international break. It felt long. I mean, the first few days it felt all right because of where we were and stuff like that, but it felt long. So, yeah, we're back to preview the Hearts game. It is, of course, the Rabble Phone In. The phone lines will be open very, very, very shortly. Just before I do that, I'll introduce my... I can't even call these guests anymore. Co-hosts. Let's go with co-hosts. Ross, how are you?
Very good, mate. Very good. Good to be back on talking crap about the team we all love, Martin. It was a long couple of weeks here. Nicole's ears were burning, having to listen to me because I couldn't get it off my chest here. So poor her.
Did your St Mirren top come in the post?
St Mirren top.
Aye, I'd been wearing a St Mirren top for 2 weeks just to annoy her.
Oh right, I'm not. Yeah, cause she's a Tim. No, listen. I just dress her dug up in the Orange Rangers kit every now and again and send them out to annoy her. It's good.
Oh, Mark, how are you?
All good, all good. Living the dream.
All quiet in the Western Front.
Aye, glad real football's back. I hate the international break, big time.
Yeah. I must admit, I was happy, Care, for the first kind of couple of days because we hadn't been playing well. Even though they get beaten, they brought it back to 2 points. I still wasn't feeling great about the team and stuff like that. But it got to about 2 days after it, and I'm going, I just want Rangers back.
I know, even when we're not great, we like them and moaning, we still like Rangers to be there. International football just doesn't interest me one little bit. I didn't even watch a minute of any game. I've lost interest. I was watching other things. I didn't even pay attention to any football. So if you've watched it, hope it was good, but I didn't care about any of it. I'm sorry.
I watched a few of the Scotland games and that, and we could talk about that. But I don't want to. I want to just talk about Rangers, but the fact that Billy Gilmore can't get in that Scotland team, regardless of how many minutes he's played over Ryan Christie and Stuart Armstrong, right. Phone lines are open. 01416287237. Anything you want to talk about? Of course, we're going to start with a Hearts game. Just before that, please do like and subscribe. It's good to be back. Hello, everybody. Give us a wee like, give us a subscribe, give us a wee retweet on Twitter, comment on Twitter as well, because I do see them, they do come up. Give us a like and a retweet and all that kind of good stuff. If you want to become a member, you can get an extra 2 to 4 shows a week. If you want to become a member, the link is down in the description. Or there should be, if you're watching on a computer, there should be a join button below you as well. So let's see who we've got in the comments. Nicholas. Hello, Nicholas. How you doing? Has anybody seen CGM? By the way, I've not seen CGM for a while in the comments. I don't know if I've done something to annoy him. Hello, Ryan. How you doing? James, how you doing? Hello to everybody else in the comments. It's good to have you back. It's good to be back. And my good friend Andrew. I hope you're doing well, Andrew. Right, Ross. Tomorrow we go to Edinburgh to face third best team in Scotland by a mile. Is that fair?
Listen, I don't want to be called biased because that's where Xander is now. But no, I think so, mate. They've made some good signings as well. Getting Snodgrass and players like that out in. Barry Mackay's been playing well. Obviously, listen, Craig Gordon's for me probably the best in the league, goalkeeper wise. So it's not going to be an easy. It's not going to be an easy game tomorrow because they've got a strong squad. You're playing them at home on a wee tight park where the crowd are right on top of you, and they'll be the same as us, mate. They'll be paying for a game of football, won't they? So I'm not expecting an easy game, put it that way.
Probably, the hardest game we could have came back to after the international break.
Probably is. Hearts are really good at home. Their away record this season, I know I've actually got quite a few points. They're only 2 or 3 points behind us, so I'm not going to criticise them. But their home record is really good. They scored majority of the goals this season. They scored at home, and the boy Shankland scored 5 goals this season, I think. And I think the majority came at Tynecastle as well. So it's going to be a tough test. But we used to always play well at Tynecastle. But the last few seasons, I don't know. I think we struggle. And Hearts are not going to fear us because they play a certain way. They're confident in each other and they play as a unit. And Craig Gordon, I watched a couple of games this season, and they're probably the third best team in Scotland, but I still think they're a distance behind ourselves and Celtic. But with Craig Gordon in goals, I mean he's the same age as McGregor, isn't he? Round about. But
Yeah.
he's still saving them 12, 14 points a season.
He did have a
And
few seasons out here though, didn't he?
he did, yeah, but I just think he's recently had a new baby in his family. He's played with Scotland a couple of times. He's on a high, and some of his saves he still makes Martin a top class man. For the guy his age, he seems to be getting better. We all know he's ball at his feet. He's not the greatest, never has been, but he's still probably the best goalkeeper in the league by a country mile. So I think it'll be difficult tomorrow. I don't want to say they're the best defensively, but it'll be difficult because he's on for him.
Aye, no, he is. He is. Mark, I've lost the comment, and I'm going to try and find it. I can't find it, so I'm going to have to paraphrase. So my apologies to the person that put it in. They said that tomorrow's going to make or break our season. Is that fair?
I think it'll maybe go towards making and breaking Gio's season. I think for me, Gio's I've said it before, I think he's in a shaky peg. I think that tomorrow for me is a must win. Hearts are a good side, right good side, but I'm sure they've lost 3 in the last 5. So they're there to be beaten, but I think they'll come at us. And I think that will suit us. I think that they will not sit back. They'll not do their usual, everybody else's usual in the league and sit 9 men behind the ball. So I think that will suit us. I think they'll come at us, but must win for me. Got to be a must win. And I said the other night in the members show as well. Our performance needs to get better. I know that winning's everything, and we need the 3 points. But for me, that our performance has been dire, and it's not been good enough, and we need to up our game. So I think for me, it's a must win, and I think we need to play like we are Rangers, which we've not been doing. So to say for me, it's a must win, and we must win with at least a wee bit of style and look as if we're the real Rangers instead of the kind of some of the charlatans that's been there the last few weeks. So I hope this international breaks gave us a wee bit of time to kind of maybe settle things down and try and get a wee bit more organisation, a wee bit more fighting, a wee bit more desire into them.
Yeah, I know. And like channel member Fog Dog, I'm really not caring about performance tomorrow. 3 points is all that matters. And for me, Ross, that's it 100% tomorrow. See, if you go to a difficult away ground and you don't perform well, but you come away with the 3 points, nobody cares. I don't care about the run that we've been on, the way that we've been playing. We're going to a tough team tomorrow. And if we have a poor performance but manage to sneak a win, I don't care.
I suppose 3 points is all that matters, mate. But I tend to agree with Mark there. I think Van Bronckhorst needs a performance because a lot of folk now are being blinded by the fact Celtic had a bad performance and dropped points, and all of a sudden we're only 2 points behind them and they're gettable. But the way we've been playing, we look as if we could drop points, mate. So I'm looking for us to be. I think the more of the performance will count for a lot, Martin. They've had a break, they've had a chance to rejuvenate and look at the first batch of games. And I would hope they've been picking the bones out it and maybe coming up with something a bit different that's going to look better. See, before I pass back to you, Martin, I've seen Heather in the comments there. Can I just say on behalf of everybody at the Rabble, we hope our mum's doing better and that she is right as rain and out the hospital in no time and back watching us for the house, man. So best wishes to wee Heather's mum for everyone here.
Well said.
100%. 100%. I hope that your mum gets well soon. I did see a few things that she was posting on Twitter and stuff like that, and Heather knows that our DMs are always open if she ever needs to talk, or if anybody needs to talk, our DMs
100%,
are always open. Andrew Taggart, who will start up front? We'll come to that in a wee second. But who do you people watching? Who do you think will start up front? Who do you think will start in goal? Who do you think will start in the middle? Who do you think will start in defence? Who do you think will start? 01416287237 to phone up and have your say. A lot of people Mark, in the comments talking about Barry Mackay. Now, I know Barry Mackay is a good player. He's played well. But he seems to have become this Messi-like player in the last kind of 4 or 5 weeks. Obviously, he's a player that we need to look out for and we need to do well against, but it doesn't terrify me.
Do you know what? I think he's progressed. He's got a wee bit more mature, and I think probably at us, he was very inconsistent. And I think that with his maturity, he's became consistent. I've got a wee pal on here that's the Hearts fan, and he's raving about him. He goes to a lot of Hearts games and stuff like that, and he's raving about him. Barry Mackay this, Barry Mackay that. But I think he was always a good player. He always had talent, but when he was at Rangers, he was a young boy, and we seen it in spits and spots, didn't we? It was very, very sporadic. But I think that's the only difference. I think he's kind of happy where he is. He's kind of been a wee bit a nomad, but now he's back in Scotland. He's happy where he is, and he seems to be more consistent. I think they're playing him slightly central as well, which I think suiting him as well. But the talent was always there. But us as Rangers fans, I mean, we do it with players that have been out. All of a sudden, if he's been out for 6 months, get him back because we need him because he's the next best thing. But nah, he's a good player. But I think that's all he is. He's a good player. Definitely worth a watching. But as I said, I think he's just got consistent, and that's what's brought his game probably at another level.
Yeah, sorry, I was just having a wee bit of issues there with the old phone, and I think I'm still having issues. Hold on. Oh, we did have Curry on the line, but it's hung up. So if you can, Curry, give us a wee call back, and I'll get you straight on. Gaza Buck, new member. Welcome, Gaza. Gary, who used to be on the pod. Hello, Gary. Hope you're well. Kerr, Ross mentioned something I want to bring up because you know Ross makes very good points.
Ross makes a lot of points.
Gio has had the international break. Obviously, with not all the players.
Yeah.
In fact, do you know what? I'm just going to bring Curry Muncher straight in case the phone lines go again. Curry, how's it going?
The best I've heard you sounding, Curry, to be fair.
Goes from one extreme to the other. He's shouting at us 1 week. He's shouting at us 1 week, and we're telling him to turn the volume down, and then he's just silent this week.
Curry, can you hear us? Can you hear everybody else? Well, nobody else is talking now because everyone decided to talk at one time. Gentlemen, there you go. Right, Curry, tomorrow, how are you feeling? You should be able to hear them once they start talking.
I've got a vision of Curry in his house giving it all that.
I don't hear anything.
No, I don't hear any either.
Any subtitles?
Aye, likewise.
Did you not hear anything?
Oh.
Nah, can't hear it, mate. What we need to do is get you. You need to be like that wee guy on Tune the Fat that does the translating for the Neds, mate. So that.
All right.
Right, hold on. I will go and I will fix the problem. Ross Clark, you take over, my friend.
I'll take over. Marco,
co-host.
the one I'm interested in that we've not spoke about, and I don't believe Gio spoke about him in his presser today. John McLaughlin, if he's fit, is he back in the squad in the starting 11 tomorrow, or are we sticking with Griggs?
For me, I'm sticking with Griggs. I said at one of the very first podcasts, we have made a rod for our own back here because this is the conversation we're going to have the whole season. And I said it, I called it then. I says, look, by bringing him in, by giving him another year, we're just generated this whole. As soon as McLaughlin does bad, Griggsy in. As soon as Griggsy does bad, we're wanting McLaughlin in, and it's going to be the whole season. And for me, giving him another year has been counterproductive. I understand probably what they've done. They've given him a wee bit of swan song, and it's nice, and he's a good goalie, and he'll probably taste for cups and stuff like that. But for me, it's been bad management as far as I'm concerned, because this is, and it's not just us talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, every single person that's a Rangers fan, one of them's going to say Griggsy, one of them's going to say, and I can understand the arguments for both of them, but this is where we are. It's just we're just going to kick this ball out all season. As I said, the only way we get away with it was McLaughlin got injured, and there was no choice. But for me, Shagger every day of the week.
I think I've fixed it. I'm pretty sure I have fixed it. So if
Can I just say, Martin, see, because I've got the panel at the bottom of my screen now, I could see you flapping there. It was good. I was watching you at the bottom of the screen flapping, by the way. Oh, well, we asked was like that.
I was flapping, and I do hope I've fixed it. Ross, mate, I'll take your own question straight back to you.
Oh, thank you. Mate, I've said since the start of the season, I would go with John McLaughlin. I've not forgot how bad McGregor was in the league last year.
I'm going to have to interrupt you, Ross. I'm sorry. I'm going to try this out. We should have Curry on the phone. Curry? Can everybody hear Curry?
No.
Nobody can hear him?
No.
Is he on mute?
I don't know what's going on. What is going on with this? It's the same setup I've always had.
I can't hear Curry, but I'm not getting any comments going up on the screen either, unless it's
Can you...
on the StreamYard.
Is Curry's stream on mute, man? Anyway, I'm going to continue answering the question, seeing as you so rudely interrupted.
Go for it.
Mate, I've no forgot about McGregor's performances. For me, McGregor was a major factor in his losing the league last year. I thought he was really ropey at the goal last week as well. It was right at him, went right through him, similar to what we've seen last season. I spoke a wee bit on when we were talking with Lee about the vice chairman or deputy chairman or whatever his name is interview where he spoke about making a pathway for Nathan Patterson in order to get into the first team by selling Matt Polster. And for me this year, we've gave Griggs what you're talking about, what we've all spoke about. We've gave him a swan song year, a wee top up with the retirement fund. And what it's really done is, I know I don't like him. I'm not saying I don't like him. I don't rate him. All it's done is made a big, massive blocker on the pathway for Robbie McCrory, who should really have been playing your cup games this year. So I think I think that the McLaughlin for me starts because McGregor's came in and set a goal last week, so it's McLaughlin's. Last year when McGregor got injured, McLaughlin came in, never done anything wrong. Your first choice goalkeeper comes back in, and it's, to me, McLaughlin should be the first choice this year. Kier, what about you? What's your opinion on it, Kier? What's your thoughts?
My opinion's always been the two of them shouldn't be at Ibrox, but McLaughlin only as a backup, nothing else, and McGregor shouldn't be. That was a cheap option. Nothing sentimental about it. It was a cheap option. Rangers are a club. Rangers are a club who we've also got good goalkeepers. I may be looking back to the players we've had, even McGregor himself, but Kloss, Gorham, players like that. Chris Wood's away back further field. But every team needs a good keeper. Everybody needs a good goalkeeper because your defence has to rely on somebody, and the goalkeeper has to rely on him. If there's no cohesion there, you're fucked. And there's nothing. That's how our backline's knackered. They don't trust each other enough. They just don't. That's why everybody's making mistakes and nobody's willing to claim the ball, come for the ball, boot the ball. You get it. And it all starts for the back. And I agree with you, Ross. I put McLaughlin back in because McGregor shouldn't be there. But McLaughlin shouldn't be number one.
I think I see somebody in the comment there saying McGregor never cost us the league last year. We had a 5-point lead getting in after New Year. And the Motherwell game, we drew to each, stinking. The Ross County game, if you'd have done that at amateur football, your teammates would have done you in at the end of the game. I've said that before. That's 4 points right away. Other games where it's every game at the end of the season.
You had the Hearts game at Ibrox and you had the Dundee United game away when Ross Graham cut the ball out his horns. And McGregor, he's been a fantastic goalie, but every goalkeeper hits her peak and then starts to come down. That's what I said earlier about Craig Gordon. He's not done that yet. But McGregor has, so he should never. If he get 3 minutes in the cup final, so he can get yourself a new contract, then that's just bollocks, in my opinion.
Aye.
Just on that, guys. I mean, what about young McCrory? I mean, what is he must be thinking? he must be like desperate. He must be just be like, do you know what? Why am I here? What am I doing here? He must be properly disillusioned, the young boy. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't show that they've got any sort of a faith. And you were talking, Ross, about pathways into the first team. I mean, if there's anybody that deserves a chance in a run in the first team, it's that young boy. He's been there for bloody all his life nearly. It's just. He's played. He came in and played 2 games, and he'd never put a foot wrong, as far as I'm concerned. None of you really know how good he is because we never sat and watched when he was playing with Livingston. We never sat and watched him, so we don't really know unless we see him. Aye, but I feel sorry for the wee guy. I really do.
If I was Robbie McCrory, my first move in January to get away, because he has to look after himself and he has to be playing football. He's not an age where he should be sitting at Rangers not doing anything every week. He has to go out and play. Doesn't matter who it's with, he has to go out and play. He has to look after himself first and say to Rangers, listen, I've been here long enough. You're blocking my way because you're re-signing guys 40, so let me go and play. It doesn't matter if it's Championship, Lower League, the Premiership, or even somewhere else, but just let him go and play. He deserves it.
Listen, I hear it because people think I'm being down on him, right? But I watched him a bit for Livingston, because obviously I watched us against them, and so he never played in the games, and you seen Stryjek, who wasn't the best goalie in the world when I took him at Rangers. But I watched a lot of McCrory when he played against St Johnstone in other games, a couple of the cup games and stuff as well. And he's never going to be a Rangers goalie, and that is, and I feel validated in my point of saying that this year, because obviously the coaching team don't think he's a Rangers goalie either because he's nowhere near it. But that poses the question then: why did we let Siegrist go to Celtic? Siegrist would have done a better job for us. Xander away to Hearts
So would have
done a better job. You look at the boy. Is that the boy? Oh, I heard Curry.
Is that the Munchier?
Oh, he's hung up now.
Sorry, no, I know Kerr. Obviously, me and you have spoke a bit about the boy Woodman that's went to Preston on a free. So listen, there was goalies out there we could have went and got, and Kerr, I know what you're saying about the cheap option, but you're not going to tell me McGregor's on more than Siegrist would have gone to Celtic as a second choice, or whether McGregor will be on more money than they're on.
I'm just saying it that way. It's because I think it's, if I had to get a goalkeeper, I don't like Freddie Woodman for Newcastle because he came as a free, or even something like somebody else for England. You're going to have to pay him a big signing on fee plus maybe 20-25 grand a week. McGregor will not take that much. You're not buying that now. Yeah. So it is a cheaper option. But like I say, Robbie McCrory, he has to just go because he has to protect himself. I mean, if you were there, Ross, and you want to get in a game, every footballer wants to play. It doesn't matter where it is. You want to play because that's end of the day, that's what you do. So he's well going somewhere else, try to get himself a game and then proving people wrong. I've not seen enough of him to say he's no good, to say he isn't good. What I've seen in the Rangers, he's done okay. But long term, I couldn't tell you. I'm going to say he's good enough or no, he's not good enough. But he has to go and play. But we need a first choice keeper next season. And it's not fair on John McLaughlin either because he never been a first choice keeper long enough at any of his clubs to deserve it at Rangers either.
But we'll move on a wee bit for the goalies. We'll move on a wee bit for the goalies, Max. I don't want to keep going on goalies all night. I'm watching Martin. I'd like to hear a running commentary on Martin. By the way, it's outstanding down there in the wee box. He's laughing, but he's not laughing. He's flapping. The Mora, who's playing centre half here? What's your defensive lineup for Rangers? The Mora and the 4.
Tav, Borna, Goldson and Ben Davis.
King dropping out for you. What about yourself, Matt? What are you thinking?
I would like to see. I mean, if we don't play him now, I don't know if we're ever going to play him because he was fit before the break, and he said another 2 weeks under his belt. So if he doesn't play, then I would say pack your bags because it doesn't look as if you're getting the game. I don't know whether you're good enough for. It's just mad. So I really don't know. But for me, I would play him. The only time we've seen him play, which was a proper cameo, I thought that for once we looked like we had a bit of balance in the centre of defence. So we're a left-sided player that is a left-sided centre half. So I would play him. I would play exact same as Kerr. I would definitely play him.
What about another big question that I see in the chat? Who's going to start up top for us? I know my opinions on this. I've got strong opinions on this, by the way. But
Let's hear them.
What you thinking? What you thinking first?
For me, I love Alfie. I think he brings a lot to the game, right? But for me, you need to go with form. I'm very much if you're doing a business, you're playing. So simple as that. It might be a bit old school, but for me, Cholak's been banging them in. His goals to game ratio, it might not be the prettiest and bringing players in and stuff like that. But do you know what? See, just for raw goal scoring, he's in my team before Alfie, and it probably kills me. It kills me to say it that. But for me, Alfie's goal scoring record over the last 2 seasons has not been good enough as far as I'm concerned. All right, what he brings to the side is different class, especially in Europe. I think that his link-up play and stuff like that's phenomenal, and but he's not scoring enough goals. It's simple as that, and Cholak's scoring them. So for me, Cholak starts. He's a man on form. It's his shirt to lose, so I don't think you can drop him. If you drop him, I think it's a bit of a slap in the face for the boy.
Just before I come to you, Kerr, David Dale became a YouTube member. Well done,
David.
David, welcome to the crew.
Welcome to the madness.
Well, listen, sorry about the content we're getting here, by the way. Martin's absolutely dropped me right in it. I can see him laughing again. I've not done any sort of prep work here. So, Kerr, what about yourself? Would you be going the Alfie route, or are you quite happy with Cholak keeping his place?
Cholak has to play because he's scoring the goals. I think it's interesting to see how Hearts play, Ross, because sometimes they go a 3 at back, sometimes they go a 4. I think I'll go a 4 tomorrow, just because we go down the flanks, and you seen that against Hibs, didn't you? When we played today, they started as a 3, and we were getting the better of them down the flanks, and they changed it because we were getting a lot of success down the flanks. We went about the game and scored a couple of goals. So I think Robin Nielsen will go off for them all. Like they've done it in Europe with 2 sitters or 2 full-backs or still balling forward. So, and I don't know if Halkett's fit. So if Halkett's not fit, you play Cholak because there's been a young boy, Lewis, is it Nielsen? He's been playing there. Boy, they signed for Dundee United, who's actually quite decent to be fair. And then I think with Stephen Kingsley was playing next to him. So Kingsley's not the best defensive player. He's good going forward. He's good at set pieces. Defensively, he's not the best. So you play Cholak because if the ball's in the box, he'll get you a goal. But obviously, we have to create chances for him. But I would start with him.
Where's he waiting now? Oh, he's up in half a chair. He's running about. He's taking a mickey.
Let's hear your take on it. What's your strong opinions?
I sincerely apologise, folks. I believe that
I can fly.
I do believe I can fly. Aye. I think I've got the telephone issue sorted, and this is the last time I'm going to try it. But we should have Ian on the phone. Ian.
Hello.
Ian, are you there?
They look like it.
This is a rabble, innit? It's an absolute rabble, by the way. What an apt name for a podcast.
With the Ouija board.
It's horrendous. He's gone. Right, okay. I'm going to have to scrap the phone in tonight. I don't know what's went wrong because I'm not doing anything different than what I've done in previous times.
You pay your phone bill?
It came out today.
Just gremlins in the system. All gremlins.
Yes. So I apologise to everybody. See, this is the problem when you do stuff live. See if something goes wrong, you've absolutely had it.
We can't go back and edit this, can we, Martin?
We can't edit. No, I can just take it offline now, and we can just all go to bed. There's a reason it's called the Rangers Rabble. So I apologise, gentlemen. Where did we get to?
We're just going to get my strong opinion on who should start tomorrow.
Strong opinions on strikers. Who's up front, Roscoe?
Give us your strong opinions.
Cholak, mate, every day of the week. I know that's no a surprise to you, but see this. Morelos is a big game player. We need to go there for a battle. We need to go. That's exactly the reason why I would not play Morelos. He's no fit. He's no scoring goals. He's had a long, lengthy layoff, and the guy who's in position is scoring goals. So see if you bring Morelos in and he misses a couple of sitters, what happens then? See, bring Morelos in and he does one of his stupid antics again and gets sent off. What do we do then? He's not reliable. He sat down with Van Bronckhorst, had a big chat with him, and then went and played a Europa League, a Champions League game the next week, and should have get sent off for 2 stupid fouls again. So, how is people trusting Morelos to go and do anything? See, for me, he's not signed a new contract. He's no scoring goals. Čolak scored half the amount of goals in 6 games or whatever we've played that Morelos scored in the full of last season. So see for me, see the hustling and bustling defenders and barging people about and the so-called. Apparently, Morelos makes us a better team. I don't see it in the league. In Europe, when he's on the big stage and he's under the lights, he's like a different guy. But in the league, he's been mediocre for the last. Probably his full time here. Has he ever finished top of the goal scoring leagues in Scotland? No. Is there a good chance Čolak could finish top of the goal scoring league this year based on his early form? Aye. So see, for me, Rangers goal scorers score goals. See the people you want to be hassling defenders and barging into folk and running down the wings. That's what we've got 2 inverted wingers for. Let them come in and play where Morelos likes to go and play. See if you want to play him, as I've said before, play him inside right.
Mm-hmm.
He'll not play him there, but he's already said he's going to play up front.
But you cannot drop a consummate professional who's scoring goals in order to play Morelos based on a game against Dortmund last year, or based on But he scores in big games. He does this in the physical battles away from home. He scored 1 goal against Celtic in 19 games or something. I don't get this theory that he does. I don't get it. And the fact that folk want to drop Čolak in order to bring him in, listen, I think that would be career suicide for Van Bronckhorst if it came back in his face. Honestly, I do. I think it would cost him his job if Morelos done something stupid. And as I say, the main thing for me, sorry Martin, I see you about coming there. The main thing for me is Van Bronckhorst told you he'd sat down with him and Morelos had told him he acknowledged his behaviour. The very next game, he gets a 60-minute start, leaves a leg in on the goalie, and then pulls somebody back petulantly and should have get sent off, then we had to sub him. So that tells me that what's went in that conversation went in that ear and out that ear. Sorry.
I think that's quite harsh there, Ross. He done the things in the game, but you see that all the time, it's just...
Is it 2 bookings?
I would say one of them, wasn't he?
What one wasn't he?
The goalie, I didn't think he touched him, but that was just where
left his leg in.
You see that all the time, but
listen,
I think it's quite hard. He plays on the edge. When you play on the edge, you get that. If he plays, Gaza played on the edge every game he played for Rangers.
Gaza played in a different era, but
I know he did, Mark. I'm not going to say he should play Morelos, but I just think a lot of times are harsh on him. He makes a lot of mistakes and he's done a lot of bad things. And if I got an offer for him, I would take it. But I'm not going to sit here and criticise him saying he's absolutely rotten because he's never been rotten. He's been a good player for us for £1 million.
Right, well, said he's rotten. But I'm going to ask you the question, Keir. Even if he didn't deserve to get booked for the first one, see when you're on a booking, why are you pulling somebody back, which is a blatant yellow in Andy's book. I agree.
I just think that's the way he is, and sometimes you have to accept it. If you're not going to accept it, then we should have sold him a while back. So
if he gets sent off tomorrow, we've just accept it because that's the way he is. Because you're going to a hostile park.
He's not going to play tomorrow, but sometimes the players you do. Some players just don't listen, Ross, you know that yourself.
Listen, some podcasters just don't listen, man.
Super chat in for Davey1642. Let's hope these team meetings during the week have worked. We are the people on the Bears. Cheers, thanks for that, Davey. All your help and support is greatly appreciated. I know we've got a couple of new members tonight. Thank you, welcome. And if you do want to become a member and get that extra 2 to 4 shows a week, as it currently stands, the more members, the more shows. Of course, that makes sense. Then the join button's below if you're watching on computer. If you're on a phone or on a computer, the link for that is also in the description. And a big shout out as well to our sponsors, Zenith Coins. If you use the code RR10, You can get 10% off your order, and they've got loads of new Rangers stuff on there as well. So please do go and check that out.
That includes the black top, is it for sale?
We're going to come on to that. Believe me, we're going to come on to that. But I want to talk about football first because it just feels like an age since we've spoke about football. I don't know. Let's put that talk aside for 2 seconds, Mark, right, and just focus on Morelos and Čolak as players.
Yes.
I'm 100% with Ross. You cannot drop a striker who is in a rich vein of form and scoring goals, especially as I think tomorrow the game suits Čolak.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I said when you were off air there that Čolak is his strip, it's his top to lose. You can't, if he's in form, you can't drop him. Simple as that. So for me, if he's doing the business, it might not be outside the box. It might not be the best. It might not link up play might not be great and slick and all that and nice turns and this and that. But do you know what? The hardest thing in football is putting the ball in net. And do you know what? This boy, he literally gets one chance, boom, it's away. So for me, that's worth its weight in gold. I don't care. I mean, Chris Boyd done it for years. Chris Boyd done nothing. Chris Boyd was overweight a lot of the time and never done anything. But do you know what? See if you gave him half a sniff in that box, he would stick it away. So for me, Čolak needs to start. I think just obviously getting back a wee bit, I'm trying naughty, but for me, I think that the fact that Morelos has been out of the team, he's not signed a new contract. So and his antics, a lot of Rangers fans have kind of gave up on him a bit and said, do you know what? Enough's enough. We've had enough of this carry on. Because I think Čolak's come in and showed him up. Čolak's a professional. He goes out there and does what he's paid to do. He scores goals. There's nothing pretty. He's no jumping about trying to foul people. He's no elbowing people. He's no flinging his weight about. He's intelligent with his runs, especially in the box. If you watch him, he will create chances for other people. So if you watch his movement's brilliant. Although he doesn't do a lot outside the box. But for me, the boy's hitting the net. The boy's in a great vein of form at the minute. I would say, what's he scored at the moment? Is it 9 or 10?
I don't know.
11? I think it's 9, mate.
9.
So, I mean, that speaks for itself. And do you know what? There's nobody else in the team scoring goals at the minute. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, you can't afford to drop him just to. All right, bring Alfie on. Last 15, 20 minutes, get him some game time in his legs and let him try and do a wee bit, and then build him up that way and try, and if he comes on and scores 2, then that gives you a different dynamic to try and look at. But he's not doing that. Mm-hmm. So Čolak every day of the week, the boy's deadly in the box. One chance, he'll stick it away. So for me, he's got to start. I think that, like Ross said, could be career suicide by starting him. And as I said, I love Alfie. I think he's a smashing player. I do see what he brings to the team when he plays because it's a different dynamic. I think he brings some of the other players in the park into the game because 2 centre-halves are worried about what Morelos is doing. So it gives others a wee bit more space. But no, as I've said, Čolak, buying him in, got to start. Simple.
I'm a little bit worried that Ross has got control of the comments because he keeps bringing them up. John Batchelor is a channel legend. I think it's fair to say. Another $8.99 super sticker. Absolute channel legend, John. Your support is honestly appreciated more than you and everybody realise.
Once he starts getting that up to $12.50, you'll know it's for you to get a haircut, mate. That's what he's saying.
Honestly, it is ridiculous. There's nothing I can do with it. Now I think I look American now with this just disaster.
American.
It's not good. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible.
Hey, can I have one last wee say on that?
Oh, and you go in.
I was biting my tongue there big time. See, I seen somebody in the comments, right, saying he's no done it and Čolak's no been involved in any of the tough away games this season, right? That's to do with Gio's tactics of wanting to sit back and soak in pressure. Yes. Morelos never done anything away from home the last half of last season when Gio came in either. See, Gio's tactics are murdering us. And somebody saying Čolak never done anything away at Hibs. well, what did Morelos do away at Hibs? Cost us essentially the game, is what Morelos done. So I'll take Čolak trying over Morelos getting sent off. And by the way, I'm the same as everybody else. I love Morelos, but I just try and be impartial and be no blinded by the big buff character and actually look at it on football ability and what he brings to the team, weighed up with that nutcase part about him.
Oh, I think me, Kerr and Mark know what it's like to have somebody who's got great ability but has a nutcase bit about them. I think we all know what that's like to deal with. I don't know if you three have already spoke about this while I was frantically trying to fix the phone lines. And I do apologise to everybody that I can't get on. I was looking forward to the phone in. But Ryan Jack played for Scotland the other night. I don't know if I know that Kerr doesn't watch international football. A wee bit smug looking there, to be honest with you. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if they would show the Scotland game in Norwich, Mark. But Ross, did you watch it?
Mate, I've not really got much interest
in the
Scottish national team.
Me.
Listen, when Xander was in the squad last year, I took a wee interest. If he's back in the squad, I'll take an interest purely because he's involved, mate. But nah, just...
Right, so it's on me then to give an opinion. Right, okay. Here goes. Ryan Jack played really, really well, and he looked fit. It's the best I've seen Ryan Jack play for a while in that Scotland team. So on that, with that, that midfield three that Gio likes to play, Kerr, any chance Ryan Jack's involved at Tynecastle?
There's every chance, Martin. It's Gio we're talking about. I think he should start Lundstram and Jack tomorrow and with Tolman in front. That's the three I would go with. But Willie, I don't have a clue.
That's an exceptional in-depth pod.
Well, I don't have a clue. No, I think he should, because I think playing with Scotland has improved Jack's fitness because he needed games, didn't he?
He did.
He needed games.
And he got 71 minutes in that game.
And if he can get back to anywhere near what we know he can do, then Ryan Jack's a positive in the team. He's a big plus for us next to Lundstram, but we need him playing well. We can't have a leggy Ryan Jack because it's pointless. Because we've seen Kamara recently, he's been really off it. So you want Ryan Jack next to Lundstram, and you have to play somebody more attack minded in front, but you can't have like Kamara sitting there. You have to have Tolman or even McCann, and then you go two other players played either side with collect. We have to attack Hearts. We can't go and sit back. We have to attack Hearts. But Gio's tactics, we just don't know.
we had to go and attack Celtic here, and he sat back.
I know, but this is Hearts. Celtic it's different. It's a different mindset. The players will think it's a different mindset. Under Steven Gerrard it wasn't, but under Gio for some reason it's a different mindset. We have to go and attack Hearts because if Hearts won tomorrow, and it's no surprise if they did, but we have to go in because they're going to come in and attack us. They're going to come in and play the way they always play and be confident. So we have to do exactly the same. We can't go and expect something to happen. We have to go and make things happen.
That's the point, Ross. We have lambasted. There's a big word. He's never seen that coming, did you? Look at the surprise in your faces. Kerr can't even look at me. That's how good a word that was. Ross, we've lambasted Gio for being too defensive in midfield, especially playing two sitting midfielders. So I'm contradicting my own question by saying, can Jack and Lundstram play in the same midfield?
They can. They can if you're going to play in Gio's midfield. They can. If you were asking me for my midfield, no, it's one or the other. Because the two of them want to just sit and clean up and get about and recycle the ball. The two of them want to do the same job. We've seen Jack at the start of the season. Don't get me wrong, he didn't look fit. But because Lundstram is now doing the Jack role, when Ryan Jack played beside him, I thought Ryan Jack looked lost. What we're now talking about again is of all the talk that's went on in the chat and stuff tonight, nobody's really talking about McCann. So is that him now just binned again? This is what I'm talking about. We're bringing young boys in. We want to see them progressing, but as soon as somebody has a good game for Scotland, we're now talking about just binning the young guy. I would rather see the young guy get a shot in there because they've got a team full of youth. It's not as if Hearts are a few experienced pros. Sorry, I was trying not to be sick here. I just seen a comment about.
I'm going to bring that up in 2 seconds. I'm going to bring that up.
The boy McCann would be a better option in beside Lundstrom for me in his natural position. Somebody who's a bit more box to box, because Jack and Looney both want to just sit. I think having somebody there that can do that, they the two can get forward, but also the most important thing is that see that looking on the turn and looking to go forward. Jack and Lundstrom are looking to go sideways. I think that is a big issue that we've got.
I'm going to bring that up. I don't care. Seen someone mention a pre-contract for Porty no chance in header. Did anyone hear the Porteous to Rangers rumours? Mark, that can't be true. That can't be real. Surely to God. You can't have one good game for Scotland and suddenly he's good enough to play for us. No chance.
I don't know whether I'm going to be controversial here.
Oh, no. Mark, please don't kill me.
No, hear me out.
Right, he's away. Fuck him.
So, hear me out, right? So, see the boy. The boy's an arsehole, right? We all know that. We've all seen him. We all agree. Boy's an arsehole, right? But the boy, I see qualities in the boy, even though he's an arsehole, right? And we don't like him because he's no our arsehole, right? So see if he was our arsehole, we'd maybe like him, right?
I would rather re-sign my own arsehole and put it on the park.
Can we stop saying arsehole, please? And just, sorry,
you just
carry on.
It.
I know, right, that's enough.
Right, so that's the point I'm trying to make is, because we don't like him, majority of us don't like him, we're not seeing any of the qualities because we just see him as aggressive, wind-up merchant. But do you know what? See if he was our wind-up merchant and if he was aggressive for us, it might be a different story. No, for me, I don't want him in my club, but I'm just trying to play a wee bit of devil's advocate here, because that's the bottom line. As I said, if he was an arsehole, we'd love him. If it was can you imagine him, the stuff that he's done to us? He was done to Celtic, and he was done to Scott Brown back in the day, and do you know what I mean?
Can I jump in on that, Mark? Can I jump in on that and just put something straight back to you? If he comes in and does half the stuff that he done at Hibs for us, he's not staying on the pitch for 90 minutes.
I know.
Listen, we learned this with Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack went years at Aberdeen, never got a sending off, came to us and get sent off 4 times in his first season.
I know, I understand that.
Ross,
but,
sorry, Mark, on you go.
Right, as I was saying, the boy's not a bad player. I'm not taking my glasses off, my Rangers glasses off, and my.
Right, Martin, carry on with it.
Right. Stop it. Right, sorry, Mark.
So take that away. The boy's not a bad player. See if he takes away his nonsense. He's not a bad player. I like him, the fact that he's aggressive. I like my centre half to be aggressive, and he's no bad with a ball at his feet either. Right? He's not the worst centre half in the world, but to give full circle, I wouldn't want him at Rangers for the very reason that Ross has said. He'd probably get he'd probably break records for red cards at Rangers. So as I said, and he's a clown, so I don't want him. But I can see why there's something there with the boy. I think he's a decent player. I can take my blue glasses off and say that I think the boy's a player, decent player. So, but for me, he's not coming to Rangers, and he's not coming to Rangers because I think you would get all sorts of stick for the fans. Simple as that.
There's a few people in the comments, Mark, saying, "Oh, he's a Celtic fan. This is a Celtic fan. That." And this is no comparison. I'm just making the point. Neil McCann was a Celtic fan. And Neil McCann came to Rangers, and look what Neil McCann done for us. Porteous, for me, Ross, it's a no-go. He's not good enough.
Listen, Martin, if you look at it the other way about, Celtic's last 2 captains have been Rangers fans, and Scott Brown and Callum McGregor.
True.
So that goes both sides, right? To football players, it's just a job, right? It is. Who's giving them the most money and who's giving them the better job security? Because it's a short career. Ryan Porteous, for me, is one of the. Can I call him a rat? One of the people who is constantly. See, when VAR comes in Scotland, he'll get done because he's constantly diving about, holding his face, wanting to smash into other folk. Then, as soon as he gets touched, he's on the deck rolling about. He's not a great defender. He had a good game the other night. He was absolutely fantastic in the highlights I've seen of the Scotland game. This is a boy who hates us that much. He posed with a picture of him standing near Morelos after he'd absolutely done him. There's absolutely no way. There's a difference between being a Celtic fan, being a Hibs fan, being a Hearts fan, and hating Rangers. That wee guy hates us.
Mm-hmm.
He hates us. And see if you've got somebody there that the fans knows hates you, how are the fans going to take to him? Plus, I don't know if Andy's mentioned, he's a bit of an arsehole.
He is. He is.
What I will say that, Martin.
Just broke Herrell's heart, yeah.
What I will say, Martin, is he's actually not a bad player. And I think he will end up in England. And I think if he cuts all the nonsense out his game, he could actually be going and be a really good defender for somebody. But I wouldn't want him at Rangers, no. But I think if he cuts all his antics out, I didn't see the game the other night, as I told you, but Ross said he was alright in the highlights. That's because he's cut out all the nonsense. It's all the nonsense that goes with him. Even Jim Goodwin said it the other week against Aberdeen. And I was at the game and I didn't think Liam Scales should deserve to be sent off. I thought Portis was tying on with him as well, but he gets sent off for the penalty. And I thought he made a big melee. But I think if he went to England, the Championship, even the lower levels of the Premiership, you've seen the boy McKenna going there for Aberdeen playing Forest. I think he would cut all that out, and I think he could actually be a decent defender for somebody. The way Jack Hendry's went away for himself and became a good defender somewhere else. Just get away from Scotland, and I think that's what Portis needs. Because up here he's involved with his mates, he's involved with all this nonsense with Edinburgh, like was he's standing with pictures and stuff like that. You don't need to do that, man. Not if you want to be seen as a serious footballer. The guy just needs a brain. So he does.
Did him and his mates not get caught stealing a memorial stone at somebody's garden or something?
He's done all that. He's done all sorts of stuff.
He needs away from Scotland.
Hit a lassie with a glass in a nightclub and all that. So he's not the type of person you want representing Rangers, mate. He's
100% no. Can I just say to the folk commenting, I'm trying my best with my hair. I should have got it cut. It was just pure laziness that I didn't.
Your shed's moved side. Have you flipped your camera?
I'm trying.
Or did you just push it over the other side?
He's no Canadian.
I don't. I honestly don't know what to do. But if anyone's got any tips out there, then that
shave
would
it.
Greatly
shave it bald. That's something. Do it for charity. Do it for charity. Shave it bald for charity.
Listen, I'm doing the big.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
He said that 2 years ago.
He was going to shave it for 6,000 subscribers. Never done it.
That was for 4,000 subscribers. I was
4,000.
I thought it was 6 subscribers.
Well, we're only going to have 6. We're only going to have 6 subscribers if we don't all just talk at once all the time, because we're just interrupting each other and nobody can make out what we're saying. And if we don't get back to talking about football shortly, everybody's going to turn off. So let's get back to talking about football. Ross, how much pressure is Gio under tomorrow?
I think he's under massive pressure, man. I think performances have not been good enough. As I say, people were hounding for him to be questioned before Celtic got points. Some folk have softened a wee bit based on the fact now we're only 2 points behind in the league, but that doesn't excuse the performances we've put in. And you've got to remember we were holding the ball in the corner a couple of weeks ago against the United. Do you know what I mean? So the more, as I said before, he said 2 weeks on the grass with the players. I would hope that every single day they've been doing video analysis of set pieces, the variety in which we move forward, the sideways horseshoe. How are we going to get out of that? Because it's not helping us any. And also attitude and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
I think the players need to. I don't know the difference this year to Gerrard's team, but I hope they come out and look a bit fitter tomorrow. I hope they've done no a mini pre-season as such, but I hope they've been getting the arse ran after them in order to try and get a bit fitter. I think they look lackadaisical. I think they look... can I just say as well, Mel, in the comments, yes, he is an image. You should have seen his face when he was trying to fix the phone lines. Raging. Absolutely raging. I think Namora is pivotal, mate. I'm hoping, because as much as I criticise him, there's something about him I like, but I'm very much a performances and results driven supporter. I think Rangers should be winning every game, and I also think that against teams that are essentially not Celtic, we should be going at them away from home as if we're at Ibrox because we've got a better 11 than them. That's what it comes down to me. See, if every man on the park wins his battles, we'll beat Hearts. But if we get set up that in a way that benefits Hearts, aka playing players out of position, playing players that are no fit, playing players that are no performing, then you don't give our 11 the chance to be better than them. What you're actually doing is handicapping us by putting square pegs in round holes when they're playing their strongest 11 that are playing well and in positions that they excel in. So, listen, there will be big questions tomorrow. And if it comes out with the same lackadaisical start, then I think we could be in bother by the end of 90 minutes if we don't get a result.
Yeah, there's a lot of people along the same lines as Nicholas. Like, I hate Gio's interviews, so boring. I don't think that helps him either, to be brutally honest with you. But Keir, and again, I apologise if you spoke about this while I was trying to fix the phone lines, but one person that 100% won't be there tomorrow is John Souttar. Pretty much Gio came out and said he's been injured since he got here. He's tried to play him through that injury. It hasn't worked. Massive gamble signing him in the first place, but playing him through injury as well. I mean, what next for John Souttar?
John's just going to have to work hard and just try his best to get back fit as soon as he can. Obviously, don't want to rush him either because we all know some say he's made of chocolate, but we don't know if that's true or not. But he's not a great career, John, as in injury wise. He seems to get one after the other. And if he could just get a decent amount of games, he can be a really good player. But you do feel sorry for him. But it's not great when a manager plays somebody through injury when you know they can injury, especially somebody who's injury prone. It's different when it's just a wee knock in the players. Maybe somebody like Tav who can maybe cope with it. But Souttar's been injured at nearly every season he's played. Do you know what I mean? And then you're putting him through injury and he's struggling against Livingston and he had personal issues, and then obviously we hear different stories. He broke this, he broke that, and then it's not a break, it's an old injury, it's flared up. So I don't know if it's been the training, been the games, it's not great, but this should have been discussed well before we said. I think we discussed it anyway. We all knew it was a risk, probably a risk worth taking because of who he is, but it's not great considering the position we're in. But you feel sorry for the lad because obviously it's a really big move for him, but we all know a fit John Souttar. I don't have any injuries. He wouldn't have probably been here. He'd probably been somewhere else because he'd probably got a big move a while back. But it's a shame. But Gio has to learn this. He can't play guys who are only 70% fit, 60% fit, and is leaving other boys out because it's not going to help him. But I'll just make a point on you said Gio under pressure. I don't think Gio's under pressure. He is for the fans, but I don't think he's for the board. I don't think our board's that way inclined. I think our board, if we're going to do anything, it would actually be the end of the season, been before that. And I think Joe's the type of guy, I don't think he would be look like he's under pressure because his interviews are very boring and blah, blah, blah. But I just think that's a kind of Dutch thing, isn't it? It's like my way or the highway, and we'll see tomorrow what it goes with. But he's no manager that he's a man you can kind of guess, but he's no one that he pulls a lot of different surprise on you. You kind of know who he's going to pick. So if he can kind of guess at times who he's picking, opposition managers are going to be the same.
I'll come back on that in 2 seconds. Look, David Dale's just put a comment in. Martin, see on the next quiz, can we have Ross as quiz master in his transfer deadline days? 100% yes. 100%. Mark, the Souttar news, I mean, is it a surprise? It's not to me.
I don't think so. I think that the boy's been plagued with injury. All the centre halves we could have went for me, looking back at our transfer dealings in the summer, looks like we've just done the cheap thing, cheap options. We've just, you know what, we've brought some money in, but let's have some money for a wee change. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what it looks like. Cheap option, re-signing McGregor, definitely. Cheap option, bringing Souttar in, who is a good player, don't get me wrong, but injury prone and injured. He's obviously just admitted that injured when we brought him in. Tillman, good player, loan. We've rather than going down some decent homework, another decent centre half, we brought in Davies and never seen him. Don't know what's happening with him. So for me, all right, it maybe been 3.5 million, but go and spend 5 and go and get a decent proper centre half that you're going to play week in, week out that's going to be fit. So for me as well, you're even looking at the end of the season. Now you get 12 players out of a contract. For me, bringing in, giving Griggsy another year, you could have spent money and spent your budget better by bringing in a goalie this year. No, you're going to. How much is a good goalie in this day and age that can play with the ball at his feet? Lots of money. So you get 12 players going to. How much money are we going to spend at the end of the season? I know I'm kind of away in a tangent and a rant here, but for me, it's been very, very lazy. Rather than getting players to play in Gio's system that Gio wants. I mean, even the likes of Matondo. You look at Matondo, everybody says he's a left-sided attacking midfielder. But we brought him, tried to shoehorn him on the right. It's not worked, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, what do we do with him? We're not playing him. Spent nearly 3 million on him. So for me, it looks as if it's been a bargain basement. Let's kind of try and be cute and Suter's one of these ones. I don't think Suter is a big, massive risk because I don't think he'll probably in particularly great money, purely for the fact that he is injury prone.
He'll be on decent money that we could have spent.
I would say probably not been the kind of top half of our squad money wise. I would say it'd been the lower half anyway of that. So we never paid any money from, so it's just wages, which is what they've done. So I just, as I said, to go back to Gio as well, I think Gio's under lots of pressure, and I know what you're saying about the board, but I think the fans will have the last say because once the fans start turning their back on him, which, let's face it, 50% of them have at the minute, I think he's clinging on with bare teeth onto a job at the minute, and he needs a big run. I'd seen a stat the other day. He's not won six games in a row since he started. When he started, he won 6 games in a row. He's not done that since.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, I don't really like. I've never ever really called for a fucking a manager's head, but he's in a downward trajectory, and I don't think he's got the charisma and the personality to get more out of these players, and that's my honest opinion.
Right. I'm going to come and talk about the new strip in a wee second. Just before I do,
why did you not bring that to me?
Did I not bring it to you? Because I'm tired, Ross, and I forgot. My apologies. Do you know what I was going to bring to you, Ross? There's been about 5 or 6 different people in the comments mentioning Yilmaz and Davies. I believe that Davies is available tomorrow.
Yes.
Any chance we see him?
Knowing Gio, probably. I don't think Leon King deserves to lose his place. I would give Leon King the game. On the John Suter thing, first of all, I'd like to make a public apology to everybody because I was making comments about him having a broke foot, is what I was led to believe had happened. I'd also like to question Van Bronckhorst on his ability to tell the truth when it comes to other teams injuring their players. He played Morelos for a fortnight, 2 games a week, even though he was having to sub him off with ice packs on his thigh. Sent him away to Colombia and then said he got injured at Colombia and came back injured. He's now telling you that Suter came for Hearts with an injury. Well, the last time Suter was seen in a Hearts tracksuit was after the Scottish Cup final, where he put in their man of the match performance against us. Mm-hmm. So when did he get injured playing for Hearts that he came here with an injury? That doesn't make any sense to me. I think Van Bronckhorst's nose is like Pinocchio's. That's what I believe. Also, I know we're saying we're bringing players in injured, right? But I think people forget that we signed Suter in January on a pre-contract, so he was coming anyway, regardless of whether he was injured or no. And to be fair, he signed in January and he had a great last 6 months of the season, and people couldn't wait for him to get here. So I would like to know personally, how can you tell us he came here with an injury for Hearts when he played against us 120 minutes in a Scottish Cup final the last game for Hearts, when he would then have went on a summer holiday and came to us. So unless he had his Hearts trackies on and slipped in the shower or something, then I don't understand how he could have possibly got injured to come here.
Also, Ross, you've got to question if that. See, let's just say that is true, right? Let's just say Suter came to us and he had an injury that he'd picked up at Hearts. See if you've signed an injury-prone player and he comes to you with an injury as a manager. Why do you then play him?
Why do you play him at Livingston on an Astro Grass Park? Mate, I'm telling you, man. See, every time he speaks in his house, he must knock our vases and all that with his nose. He must. He must, man. His fucking missus will have 2 black eyes, man, sitting across the dinner table, asking him if the sky's blue. He's like, no, it's green.
Davies, Ross. Can we see him tomorrow?
I think you will see him because he's got to justify paying the money for him. But
Yeah.
I don't know what I would like to see. Leon King and Davies to give Golson the rocket up his arse that he needs.
Okay, I mean, that's a good shout for me.
That's a good shout, and I'm not going to disagree with Ross here because I agree with him, but
I'm not going to disagree with him because I agree with him.
I think
That's a t-shirt right there, by the way.
I do think like I don't think Gio's get the balls to make that call.
No, I don't.
I don't think Gio would say, right, Connor, you're sitting out today. I'm playing Leon and Ben, you're playing next to him. I think he's a better shape because one's left-footed and one's right-footed, and like Golson has been playing poorly in the last few weeks. Granted, he's not that.
Does he deserve to be dropped, Keir?
Everybody deserves to be dropped if they're not playing. Maybe some players you can play through bad spells, but others sometimes it's like your bad spell's going on a while. Maybe sit a few weeks out and get your mojo back, go and have a break, take a few days off, go and get a break and come back, like some players get told. But I don't know. I just think Connor's no played well this season. I thought he'd done okay against PSV away, but apart from that, he's made a few errors in a lot of the games. He's not the only one, to be fair. But why not give Leon a start? Because Leon's not really done anything wrong since when he's played. And Ben Davies is a good footballer. I will say that. I've seen Ben a few times. He's a good player, but we've paid nearly £4 million for him, so we have to justify paying that. We have to play him. Because there's no point in him sitting on the bench.
Can I just throw in as well? I forgot Tavernier as well. Tavernier was fit for the Celtic game and the game after. 2 cuffings, and all of a sudden he was injured. He's been injured for weeks, mate. See?
I'm going to contact Rangers and see if there's any chance that we can get Ross can have an interview with Gio.
I'd like to see you two Rossies, Ross Clark or Ross Wilson. That'd be fun. I'd pay to watch it.
Fucking be like Tyson Fury interviewing Hezbollah.
Right, Mark, prediction for tomorrow, and then we're going to talk about the new strip.
2-1 Rangers. Goal scorer Cholak. First goal scorer.
Ross.
I nearly said what my heart was thinking there. I'll go 2-1 Rangers as well. No, sorry, I'll go 1-0 Rangers. I'm trying to think of something else because we've stole Cholak. I would go.
You think Cholak take Cholak?
Right. Well, I think Rangers will win 2-0 Cholak.
Okay.
2 each.
2 each.
I think it'll be a draw. Aye. I'm not going to say the fix. I think it'll be a draw. Hopefully it isn't a draw, but I think it'll be a draw. And I think the first goal scorer will be, I'll just say Lundstrom. But I think it'll be a draw anyway, 2 each. I think it'll be goals in the game. So I don't think Hearts are great defensively and Burnley as well.
I'd love it to be 4-1 Rangers. I think that would be amazing. But yeah, Cholak is always going to be. All the scores have started coming in. Cholak is obviously the favourite as first goal scorer, and I think you'll get a couple more, and I think we'll win 2-0. But there you go.
You need to remember we went there at the end of last season, Martin, and absolutely scalped them with essentially the B team. So
I think it was the last game of the season. No, I don't really know. I think you can put too much into that, can you?
If you played all the young boys, mate, I don't think you can question the fact that it shows that you can go there with a team of young boys who'll go with a bit of fighting spirit and a point to prove.
Oh, well, listen, I hope we go rock up there tomorrow and it's nice and easy and it's over by half time. That'd be brilliant. Mark, Rangers released a fourth kit. Impressions?
Read the room. Read the room. For God's sake, Rangers, read the room, man. Just hanging out as like a windy. Just unbelievable. Just money spinning. They've no put any sort of a thought into design or anything like that. They've just flung in a black. We need a black top. We'll just make it black. We'll just fly a couple of pinstripes in it.
Stripes on it, yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what? We're all going to go buy it, so I know we're all going to moan about it. But
I'm not buying
it. For me, I think they're taking a piss. I think that you've just had the likes of Bisgrove getting talking about the fact that we get dug up kinda on an interview regarding the amount of money that we've been paying for Champions League tickets and stuff like that, and how this and that, and for them to just disregard the fans and go, you know what? It's coming up to Christmas. How are we making some serious money here? What we'll do is we'll fire out a fourth top with no any sponsors or anything like that on it, and what we'll do is we'll organise us to stick it on for one game of the season, and hopefully that'll make everybody go and buy it. For me, it's a no. As I said, for me, Rangers read the room because we're not happy about it. We're not happy that they're hanging at us constantly. It's just money, and it's getting beyond a joke, big time.
It's not just that, Ross. And I don't know if it was contractual or not that we had to release a fourth kit and it had to be at this time. I don't know, right? But after us just being fined as well, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs about it, right? But reportedly, fixing prices on tops or something like that, right? I know Rangers get the less of the fine compared to the other people that were involved, but you wouldn't know that by reading the newspapers. But after that coming out, and then just blasé. Bisgrove's interview with Heart and Hand. Here's a fourth top, go and buy it.
Yeah, I've told you before my opinion on having. I don't get upset by Rangers giving people choice. Said to you before, if you get into the shop and you get a Mars bar or a Twix, people would complain. They're only about to buy one sweetie, but they would complain that there's a lack of choice. So it's a contractual thing. We've released 4 strips. See, if you don't like it, you don't need to buy it. The timing, you're on mute. The timing is terrible, especially when they've just been forced to tell us that they've been price fixing stuff they've been selling us. So they've been bumping us for however long. So you would have thought that this one might have come out at a cheaper price. It's not. I think people are forgetting as well that they've just released the Champions League strip now with a different sponsor on the front because we've got a different European sponsor. The stickers that they're sticking on the arse end of them are absolute shambolic. Yeah. But see, to be honest, I see Garland in the comments as well, mate. See if they bring out 600 taps a year, it just gives people more choice to buy the one they like. Nobody's forcing them to buy it. Nobody's forcing them to buy the training gear. But it's better to have an option to cover it all bases. I'll never complain about them bringing out too many kits. But there is some people who, thank you, my clamorous assistant handing me a beer there. There is some people who will be the type of parent who my kid's got to have the latest and greatest everything, and it'll cost them 4 or 5 strips a year if you include goalie strips. But see, for your average Joe, I would rather they release 4 strips and you might like 1 or 2 of them than releasing 1 strip a year and you don't like it, but you just buy it for the sake of having that year's kit. I don't think you can have any complaints about bringing out an extra strip. My complaint about it is it's the most honking strip out of the 4 of them, and it's the only one that's coming with sponsorless and with it. You're walking about like a billboard, aren't you? And I just think that the kits, they should be offering all the kits without the big stupid sponsors on the front and fucking soccer mech or whatever it is, or your arse and stuff. I look like a load of lorry with that soccer mech across it. Folk think that's my Reggie on the back of the old wide road. But no, listen, they've brought an arse strip out. I agree with Mark, read the room. The timing could have been better, but that's been contracted. At the start, before the season even started, we've seen Lundstrom wearing it and the pictures with the green screen behind them. So we knew it was coming. And as I say, I would rather go into a sweetie shop than go to the wee guy at the corner that's selling one Mars bar and one Snickers, and you've got to pick between the two of them. You don't really like any of them, but you're dying for a bit of chocolate. I'd rather go to the shop that's got more. That's just my opinion. That might be controversial because I know a lot of folk get riled up with 4 strips and ripping the arse out us and just want money off us. They're no holding a gun to your head and saying you better buy all 4 strips or else we're taking your family away and you'll not see them again. That's not happening. They're just giving you more options.
I really want a Snickers now. Keir, you're on mute, by the way. I just thought I'd let you know you're on mute.
I didn't put myself in mute. It must have been you, Ross.
It must have been me. It must have been me. What do you think of the 4th kit? What do you think of it?
I don't like it, so to be honest with you, I've not bought any kits this season. I bought one, but I didn't buy it through the channels of Rangers. I bought it somewhere else. So I'm not spending any money in Crystal. I don't like their gear. I don't think it's worth the money. But my bugbear with Rangers is Managerial. It's really poor Managerial. It's 51,000 members or something, Managerial, by all accounts. I mean, you were promised. You promised Managerial was you get Managerial, apply for away tickets. You don't get away tickets. I'm in the gold for a season ticket, and I've hardly done away tickets this season. What's the actual point? Do you know what I mean? That's my bugbear. I'm just saying because I've had a season ticket for so long, and I'm buying my son's season ticket and everything. It's you try to apply for stuff, you don't get anywhere, and then they ask you to buy Managerials, which are an extra 40 quid, whatever. And it's just they're asking for money all the time. Mark said it. They're just constantly asking you for money. You're constantly getting emails about this and that and hospitality stuff, and we don't get anything back. We don't. You're getting events flung at you. A night with this person, a night with that person. It's everything's about money with Rangers. We never here's something free like RTV or something. Do you know what I mean? We get nothing for them, and it's especially with everything now. People now are struggling for money wise, but Rangers constantly think the fans are constantly going to just keep buying and buying and buying. And some will, like Ross says, because some like to have a choice and some like to have the stuff. But I just think they're taking the piss.
We could speak about Managerials for the next half an hour. We really could, but we're going to have to leave it there, gentlemen. If anybody watching is annoyed by Managerials and wanted to see us get stuck in it, then I'm hoping to have the phone lines working again, and you can phone in on Monday and talk about it. See that when the phone lines are working, you can phone and speak about anything at all. How did you get on it with Bears Up the Stairs, Martin? Oh, I done really well. And if you go on your Twitter page, you can still donate to Bears Up the Stairs. And then we're going to be taking part in the Big Able Sleep Out as well.
The club are actually trying to raise funds for the big sleep out to buy new defibrillators because you wore out the 4 that were in the stand. You were getting up and down the stairs in.
You've no idea, man. It was absolutely brutal. But yeah, we will be back tomorrow 11:30 for build up. And then we'll be back at half time. And then, of course, we will have reaction. And then, of course, we've got the members' Rabble Sunday on Sunday. And then we'll be back on Monday for the phone in as well. Ross, pleasure as always.
See you tomorrow for preview and reactions and stuff.
Oh, it's Stu hosting tomorrow.
Oh, is it?
Stu's hosting.
Oh.
I'm at the B team game.
At least there will be absolutely no hairy moments if Stu's hosting.
No, Stu does not flap. This is it. Mark, as always, thank you, friend.
Thank you very much.
I went all choked up. And Keir,
I have that effect.
You do have that effect. You absolutely do. And Keir, you enjoy your holiday.
I'll try.
He'll be phoning in. So yeah, before we go, like and subscribe. If you want to join as a member, then please do that as well. Or if you're on Twitter, give us a follow at Rangers Rabble. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. All the links are in the description. And hopefully we'll see everybody back here tomorrow at 11:30. Cheers.